Hello and welcome to Nat1, the podcast. Welcome back, Nate.
Thanks, Nate. I had a short leave of absence, even though I was actually standing right behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But we were so excited to have guests. Thanks again, Steph, for being on the show. We had a blast. I couldn't stop laughing. In fact, it's really probably all you hear on the video recording version because I was sitting right next to the camera. But
Nate just hissing behind the camera.
That's my Southern in me. It's that parcel tongue, you know. Nate, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Do you first of all, do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Megan, I'm vouching for you right now.
We always say we're not going to fall in the trap. Like they just want us to buy chocolate for them, but
that's the trap,
right? Because then every year I still get it for her, at least something. Because I'm a sucker.
And you probably get in trouble for that, but if you don't do it,
right,
you'd be effed.
Right. She'd probably never say I'd get in trouble, but I'd see the look in her eyes, It's the same look that Pickles gives me when I push her down.
Megan deserves it, though. Anyone who puts up with you or I, honestly.
Right.
So I think, get her, don't get her chocolate, get her whatever she wants.
I should.
Whatever. Under a certain dollar amount.
When we get our 50th stimulus check, I'll get her something real nice.
Oh, man. So, all right, that was like the warm-up question, but the real question is, do you think Cupid was real? Was he a baby? Did he shoot arrows? What were your thoughts on Cupid?
I don't know. Just the idea behind Cupid is really creepy. Like, why is a baby telling me about love,
Yeah.
Or is it like the act of love equals a baby? Because that's not always the case,
No, exactly.
So why is a baby telling me what to do with my life?
It's uncomfortable and it's
Right.
weird. And then talking about consent these days, someone shooting arrows and forcing people to be together, I call shenanigans.
Right.
That's a different segment.
Like,
but
you're looking at a lawsuit, baby.
Yeah. Get out of here, baby.
You with your chubby cheeks, like, you stop it.
Well, here's what I think.
Okay, tell me.
Do you know what I love?
Love?
Yeah, you know what I love?
No, do you love love?
No,
Oh.
that's definitely not where I was going.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I love our patrons. That's where I wanted to take this.
I like that
I
better.
love our patrons. I don't need a Cupid to say, thank you, patrons. I love you guys. More than anyone, that's just $1.
Just $1. And with that, I want to thank our newest patron, Michael. It's actually my dad. Thanks, Dad.
Nice.
Nate, what do we have coming up for Nat1 Presents? Like really shortly, like coming up soon.
Really exciting. So it should already be out by now because we are a little bit in syndication. We had a recent interview with Business RPG as an entrepreneurial podcast for nerds.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so kind of like us, right? I could have used this podcast a couple months ago when we were getting started with Nat1 Presents. It would have been great to have listened to this because it's tips from people. They could be streamers. Some of them sell crafts on Etsy. Some of them are podcasters like us. And It's just tips. It's like your nerdy audience, but also how to start and be successful at your business and grow it. And so really great tips if you're thinking of, turning your hobby into some kind of monetization scheme or business. Right. Definitely check this out. But also Isaac's a really cool guy. We had a really, really great chat, and I think you'll learn a lot. So check it out. His podcast is Business RPG. It's on all the channels, same as Nat1 Presents.
Right. And I like that idea because right now where Nat1 Presents is at, me and you both just love doing it. And it's a hobby right now, but we want it to be more. But if we had something to go back and look to save us a lot of the legwork building up to where we finally ended up today, that would have been great and probably saved us at least 2 months worth of work.
Easily. Probably some
research and development. Yeah. Save some fucking friendships along the way.
Probably would have went a lot better.
So I like the idea of doing this. I do. I really do.
Check it out. Business RPG. So, Nate, today we are revisiting. We're back to Roleplay for One. It's been a minute. But we're going back to our roots today, and we're playing, again, some kind of homebrew-ish Call of Cthulhu. And today's episode is actually going to be a prequel to the last episode.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Could you recap for our viewers what happened on the first episode of Roleplay for One, The Delivery?
So, in The Delivery, Nate was playing a detective agency detective.
Shirley Devlin.
And he was given the task to take this box that an archaeologist or whatever he was, his job, blah, 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 and just deliver it to his friend in Arkham. And that's all he had to do. He had to board a train take the train to Arkham, and that was supposed to be the end. Easy peasy, make a couple bucks. But it didn't happen like that, because it turns out the box itself had like some kind of spirit energy in it from one of the old ones, Haster. And with that, it ends up being a lot of shenanigans happening. So Shirley Devlin went to sleep. Big mistake. You don't go to sleep with some kind of box like this, because dreams is where the old ones thrive, and then that's when all the stuff just starts going downhill. There was a talking radio, and after that, he travels along the train. A bunch of shenanigans happened. He ends up back. Successfully, I would say, completed the puzzle of the box by what was your idea behind the ending towards the puzzle box? What was your idea for that, Nate?
Well, you put me in a precarious situation where Shirley Devlin was kind of being attacked by some wall hunted monsters came to life.
Yep.
I think it was like a bear type thing.
There was the tiger originally,
the
and
tiger,
then
right.
And then some other weird monster came out there.
And then I also had this. Everybody was kind of obsessed with the box in that realm, and then there was this older gentleman. I don't remember his name, but Appleton.
Yes.
Mr. Appleton. Yeah. I do remember his name, actually. He wanted the box and very suspicious. And so I either had to figure out how to get out of that very precarious, dangerous situation without opening the box, or if I opened the box, there was a chance that I could escape it all. And my character being the weak, not very thoughtful character that he is, he chose the easy solution, open the box.
Right.
Which I think we learned at the end had some unforeseen consequences.
Yes. So by opening the box, you got out, but something got out with you. And then Haster, in one of his many forms that he takes, was there to thank you personally when you woke up. But you also had a dead body at your feet.
These things happen.
All the time these things happen, especially here on Nat1%.
So you know me, Nate. I like to fixate on the most irrelevant characters. And for me, it was Kitty. I think it mostly too for humor's sake. When I would basically every time you would go in and out of a room, the room would reset on that in that dream realm. And so there was this one character, Kitty, who I'm a little bits right now. And every time I would come in and out, she would reenact the same scenario, and it just became a joke that I would just walk through and be like, "Hi, Kitty," and just like walk through. And
hey, wait.
Yeah, exactly. We just repeat it over and over again. So I wanted to do a prequel to your episode. I think we will go back and continue the story going into the future, but the box has been around. You kind of set that precedence in the dream realm that many other people had encountered the box over the years, and so I wanted to go ahead and set the precedent, or I wanted to go back and explore where maybe some more origins of the box, or where we've seen and I decided to do that through the character Kitty. So that's what we're going to explore today.
I like that a lot.
So today's episode, your episode was the delivery. Today's episode is the discovery.
Ooh, okay.
Before we do that, I guess tell us a little bit about the character you created.
So I don't know anything about what's going to happen in this adventure. Nate is DMing, or whatever. He's DMing this episode. And all he asked me to do was make an adventurer type character. So his name is Sebastian Travers. He is 40 years old. He lives in Cairo. He's originally from Arkham. And he's just like you're a 40-year-old brawny guy. He's got a nice mustache, adventurer type. He's got a bullet wound from the war. And he kind of has a cane that he uses just a little bit. Like you can tell he doesn't really need it, but sometimes he lays on thick. But that's about it for Mr. Travers.
All right. So where we're picking up today. So the Vanderbilts were a massively influential family. If you remember Kitty from the previous episode, she was Kitty Vanderbilt. So the Vanderbilts were a massively influential family, which is why you, Sebastian Travers, couldn't refuse their offer to join their expedition. Even as a notable archaeologist in your field, it was uncommon for a wealthy benefactor to fly you to Cairo and finance your excursion into the unearthed Egyptian ruins. Victor Vanderbilt, the head of the family, was very excited to bring you on board, quite literally, as today you set sail down the Nile towards the excavation site. So as you're on the boat, Victor finishes giving a speech to the entire crew and just describing about how excited he is that they're going to make history and unearth an ancient relic never before seen to the world, and just kind of a big happy feelings, hurrah, hurrah,
I'm pumped
kind of thing, like just to get the crew kind of motivated. And when he finishes his speech, he spots you over off to the side of the ship and comes over to speak with you. And he says, Sebastian, my boy, what did you think of my speech?
It was very moving. I was Very fond of your words. They struck me to the core, and I'm ready to find whatever it is you need me to.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because you know exactly why I brought you here, don't you, Sebastian?
Usually when people hire me on for these kind of jobs, they have something in mind, but they don't want other people to necessarily know about it. And I like to keep my discoveries hush-hush to private buyers, but I assume you already knew that since you hired me.
That is exactly why you're the right guy for the job. So it's time I let you a little bit more in on what we're looking for on this dig.
I would hope so.
So legend tells of a box that predates the very first pharaoh himself. But upon more of my research, this box doesn't seem to be Egyptian at all. It seems to actually reoccur over and over throughout different civilizations. What do you think of these markings? And I didn't draw them for you today, but if you remember the markings that you had on the box that you showed me before,
Yes.
he shows you some kind of similar Cthulhu-esque kind of ish looking markings.
Should I make a roll for it?
Yeah, do the, what is it, the Cthulhu mythos roll? Yeah, I'm sure you probably don't have anything in.
Right.
It's very rare.
Yeah, it's only a 44, so no, I don't have it.
So I show you, like, what do you think of these markings, Sebastian?
Ooh, but if it's occult, that is a pass. If we're doing occult.
I'll take a cult.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
So,
So
it's a
you
soft
passed.
pass. Yeah.
Okay, so you say something to the lines of, well, you know, like it's in line with some other things I've seen. I don't know exactly. And he's like, yeah, Sebastian, that's exactly the point. These aren't Egyptian markings. This is something more far older than possibly any civilization we're talking the Dead Sea Scrolls, older than that. We're talking, Rosetta Stone. Like, these are ancient. And I think this is going to change the world with what we find.
Wow, I don't even know what to say at this point. To have something this old and ancient in my hands, but it looks remarkable. It's in such great condition. It's almost unnatural.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But this part, there's not research, but I'm a man I like a story. I like a good story. I like a good legend. And so legend says that this box has the power to usher souls into this world. It's pretty exciting stuff. I've spent years researching the box, and I'm just excited, I think, through my vast network of researchers and scientists and experts in the field, I think I pinpointed the site, and we're going to take you there tomorrow to help uncover the secrets.
That sounds wonderful. I can't wait to get started on this. I've always been a fan of occult studies, but I've yet to see anything that has changed my mind about it.
Who's joining a cult? And then a younger a female that you maybe recognize approaches the gentleman and kind of leans up next to Victor. Victor, have you had a chance to meet my daughter yet?
Is this young Kitty Vanderbilt? It's been a day and an age since I have seen her.
Hi, Sebastian. I've heard very much about your work.
Oh, well, thank you, Miss Vanderbilt. I, too, I've heard a lot of things about you, but what have you done recently? Why are you here on this expedition?
Daddy insisted I come. He likes me to be part of everything we do. It's a family business. Also, I'm a little blitzed right now. But no, I get the drinks for everybody. And I'm just here to have a good time and make sure everybody's in good spirits.
Well, very well. You're already brightening up my day there, Kitty, and I am glad you're on board right now.
Easy there, boy. Kitty is engaged. And actually, Mr. Beauregard is on the ship. He'll probably make an appearance sooner or later. Kitty, why don't you go get Pops, your dear old Pops, a drink and maybe something for Mr. Travers? Okay, Dad.
Nice
meeting you.
Oh, you too, Kitty. She is a delight.
Yes, she serves. Kitty walks away, and he's. She probably will not actually bring you that drink. But I know my daughter very well. But she's really beautiful, isn't she?
Oh, just gorgeous. As far as a young lady could be.
Yeah, she reminds me so much of her mother.
Oh, where is the missus?
Oh, we lost her a long time ago. It was a very, very tragic accident.
Like a baggage claim, or?
No, not quite. We were running the business, and we went on site to a construction site where we built, the Vanderbilt double towers.
Oh yes.
The twin Vanderbilt towers.
You couldn't miss them. You couldn't miss them with one of those new airplanes they got today.
Yes. Well, I brought her to the construction site, and we were, we thought we were invincible back then. We were rich. We were invincible. So we weren't wearing helmets on the site, and well, one of the materials fell and struck her, and
Oh my God, that is just awful. I'm
instantly.
sorry to hear that,
it's,
Mr.
you know, it
Vanderbilt.
doesn't even take a lot. You know, you could. It's like if you threw a quarter from the Empire State Building, that would incinerate your brain by the time.
I have heard that.
And yeah, so I mean, it was a brick, so it was more than a quarter, but it knocked her right out.
Oh,
right
what a
out.
gruesome scene.
She just bled there. Kitty wasn't there, thank goodness. But Kitty's all I have left in this, and she is by far the most important thing to me in this world.
I can understand that and why you brought her along on this excursion. It's nice to keep family together, and I can appreciate that from you, a businessman.
And with that, you start to hear a bunch of commotion on the ship. You hear some like yells and some like some kind of like anxious noises and some bustling.
What's going on up there?
Do you like go over? You want to say you go up to?
Yeah, I run up like straight to the front, or kind of hobble since I don't have my
yeah.
cane.
Oh, that's right, you have a cane. Yeah. So I kind of forgot about that when I built this challenge. So with that, you go up and you see this like veiled assailant. Think like if you've ever seen like the Mummy, kind of like the like that organization. They got like the two scimitars, like the curved swords.
Ooh, and the tattoo on the eye.
Yeah, the tattoo, and they got like a veil over them. And they have two swords, and one of or it's just one gentleman or female, who knows. And the cloaked assassin appears and says, "You will not find what you seek. Turn back now before you lose everything." And then he shifts his gaze to Kitty.
Stand back there, sir. You will not harm that young lady, and you cannot tell us where we can and cannot go.
Victor whispers like, "Well, yeah, we have a permit, so we're totally legit. But also, Sebastian, I beg of you, do something. That's my daughter."
Very well. Kitty, are you okay?
Yeah, I guess so. He's just staring at me right now, but I feel really scared.
Okay, I think I'm just going to pull out my gun. And then I'm going to try to threaten him. Be like, please leave the woman alone and leave the party alone. It's time you went on your way. We have every right to be here.
Is there an intimidation or a threat type roll?
Let's see. We got a fast talk. We got... there is an intimidate.
Okay, yeah, do an intimidate.
Oh my God, I put 0 points in an intimidate. A 33? No, that's a fail.
Won't pass. Okay, so he says, "I will only warn you one more time. All will be lost if you do not turn back. You do not have a right to seek what you're searching for. Be gone."
We have every right to be here, and I personally take on the responsibility for the entire party if something bad were to happen. Nothing bad happens under Travers' watch, okay?
He's gonna like write down your name.
So you, sir, need to take your business elsewhere or be prepared to deal with my fist and cuffs.
Right, do a persuasion this time. So now you're not threatening, you're more just trying to...
Oh, that's 27. Oh, where the fuck is it? A 10? Fuck no.
Oh, okay, so he's still not. So he does some like quick dodgy movements, and now he has like a sword up to Kitty's throat.
Oh my God. I'm gonna try to shoot him.
Okay.
Handgun.
Yep.
Fire.
Yeah, do a fire.
That's a 33. That's gonna hit. That is gonna be a normal hit.
Okay. So yeah, you are good with your shot, and you. He wasn't it's more all right. Instead of like behind her with like the sword around his throat, he was more like standing next to her with like the sword like outstretched to the side. So he was wide open.
Yeah.
So he was wide open. Probably didn't expect anything, from an old man with a cane. And you just shot him in the chest, and he falls backward into the water. Everybody cheers. And then Kitty comes by and she's like, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Mr. Travers. I didn't even know you were packing heat."
I always pack heat, Kitty, but not now, okay? We'll talk about this later. You there, guards. We need to set up a patrol around the side of the boat and be observing the distance for any more of these kind of intruders to be coming across our path. Nothing is going to interfere with this plan.
So you say that, and really there's just like two crewmen that are like clearly like just contractors, like not like they're just natives who are hired to run the boat, and they just kind of like nod. And then just kind of like walk away.
What the hell did I sign up for?
Victor says, "Thank you, my friend. About that permit. We do have a permit. I know some people in the government, but people aren't particularly happy with us digging up the past, and we couldn't get a lot of hired help surprisingly, in this area. So we're a little light on really everything, but especially security.
Oh, say no more, Mr. Vanderbilt. I completely understand. This isn't my first rodeo, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know if people said that in the 20s, but fuck it.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But I appreciate the concern, but you hired me for this job, and I guarantee you it will be accomplished.
You are an investment well worth making. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we retire to our cabin tonight? Tomorrow we will arrive at the excavation site, and I want you to be well rested and in peak shape.
Very good. I'm just going to make my rounds before I retire as well. The old leg injury is causing me a little bit of trouble, but I'll manage. And I didn't expect so much excitement on the very first couple minutes being on this fucking boat, but what can you expect, you know? So I bid you good night, Mr. Vanderbilt, and I will make my rounds, and then I will retire.
Good night, Mr. Travers. So Victor exits, and you're free to explore the boat a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around and check what's my scenery look like on the outside of it. It's getting dark now.
Yeah, so it's getting dark, but it's still we'll say it's sundown or so
sunsetting.
there's still sunsetting. Yeah. So it's sunset, so you still have some light. It's just like a steamboat. You're not on a yacht, but you're also not on a little push boat or anything. So It's got 2 levels, and it's got a couple of different cabins or compartments.
And as I'm walking around, is there any suspicious characters? I know we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for help around here. Is there anyone who draws attention to me? Ooh, I definitely need to see what that guy's about.
So a couple different things. There's no really perception or anything, right?
No, just
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say these are pretty obvious. So the crew itself seems very distrustful of you. Maybe because you shot a guy literally on their boat. But also probably just foreigners, and Mr. Travers kind of mentioned that people seem a little weirded out that some rich American is coming to dig up stuff. So the crew members are looking kind of oddly at you, and then there's also this other gentleman who seems to very clearly kind of be tailing you and just observing you from afar.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna discreetly make my way around one of the corners of the ship, and then kind of wait for him to walk around, and then I'll jump out and confront him.
Okay. So you hear give me I think hiding is for sure a skill check.
Yeah, there's a stealth. Yep.
Or a hide. You could use either of those.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 15. That's a pass.
Okay. Oh, all right. You are stealthy. For a guy with a cane that's just walking around, hobbling around, you for some reason are very stealthy. This isn't your first rodeo, as you have in fact said. So yeah, you'll go ahead and you'll go around the corner, and then I'll say that was enough. So you wait, maybe a little bit of time passes, and then finally a gentleman kind of peers around the corner.
I'm gonna wait for him just to keep walking, since I'm stealthily in the shadows.
Oh, okay. You're completely hidden. You're not just you didn't just hide behind a corner. You just
right. I assume there's crates or something, hopefully there, and then wait for him to pass me. And when he does, then I'll tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Can I help you with something?"
Okay. So yeah. So before you do that, so the gentleman doesn't see you, and he walks by, and he kind of glances left and right. He's clearly looking for something or someone, such as yourself. And he is this maybe middle-aged gentleman, older than Kitty but younger than Victor. Ooh. But he's in a nice suit. He's got the pocket thing, and he's just I don't know, he looks kind of like another businessman versus the other the intellectuals in the ship crew.
Okay.
So he's walking around kind of rugged looking, and yeah, he passes you and you tap him on the shoulder.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Give me a, what is it, brawl. I think there's a hand fighting or...
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to turn around and try to take a jab at you.
Okay, so I'd have to dodge then.
Yeah, or you can do a dodge then. You can dodge, or you can try to jab back.
Oh man, that's terrible. It's 68.
That's it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. That's
okay.
Super fail.
So yeah, he quickly, we'll just say punches you in the shoulder, and maybe you drop your cane.
Ooh, okay.
Can you stand without your cane?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So you drop your cane, and then he realizes who you are. Do you want to say anything real quick?
Yeah, I'll be like, "Hey, watch it. You're the one tailing me. Now, what is the business about this before you proceed to beat me up further?"
Mr. Travers, old man. I didn't see you there lurking in the shadows. Nothing suspicious about that. And he bends down and picks up the cane and hands it to you.
Thank you. It's the least you could do. Now, tell me why you were tailing me on this small boat.
Well, Mr. Travers, I have been brought on board as Kitty's fiancé. I am looking out for her best interest, and after today, I am not sure that this expedition is in Kitty's best interest. And furthermore, I think somebody let that assassin on board. And so I have been looking into the case, and you are prime suspect number 1, Mr. Travers. I know nothing about you.
But I shot the assassin, and I can guarantee you Kitty's safety is fine. Every adventure I have been on has been successful in some way or another. We lost one guy named Paco back 2 months ago, but he was a necessary loss. Somebody had to do the little switcheroo with the doll and the bean bags full of sand, you know? But he was that guy. This is besides the point. He didn't make it, okay? But I promise you, Kitty will be safe. But after what has happened right now, I don't know if I can promise that you will be.
You, in fact, just made me more suspicious and not less. But listen, even if you are innocent, don't you think it's a little suspicious that an assassin got aboard a boat? I mean, it's not like he swung in on a vine. Or, you know, like how do you think he got on the ship?
We're in Egypt, of all places. People just get on ships. It happens all the time. The Nile's huge. He could have even been on the wrong ship, for all we know, wanting to scare off the excursion right next to us. We don't know he was really specifically after us.
That's true. Indiana Rivers is doing a separate, completely different adventure today.
As you look over in the dark, you can kind of see his boat too, Nick. You're like, hey, Indiana.
Fair enough. Well, if you can assure me that you are not here to harm Kitty, and in fact maybe even pledge your allegiance to make sure she stays safe, then I will give you the benefit of the doubt. But you haven't cleared your name.
True. Sebastian Travers only pledges his allegiance to one person, and that is money. And it's not even a real person. But I promise you, Mr. Vanderbilt is paying me extremely well, so every part of this operation will be a success. Kitty will be safe, and we will retrieve whatever it is. He hasn't detailed me yet what we're looking for.
Well, it's getting late, so why don't you get back to your cabin and we can discuss this more the next day.
Very well. You're keeping an old man from his warm milk.
Gross.
Sorry. Yes, I know. I have problems. It's my hip. Okay, we'll talk later.
Okay. I don't think he even actually introduced himself, but that was Mr. Beauregard, the fiancé of Kitty. And he seems very skeptical of everything that's going on, and you're not quite sure his motives. Okay. So he returns to his cabin. Do you do the same?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I'll make my final walk around the boat. And if it's all quiet, I'm not going to bother anybody else, and I'll just retire to my chambers.
Okay. So you do so. You're in your chambers, and do you just go to bed? Do you have your warm glass of milk?
I'm going to have my warm glass of milk,
Okay.
you know. I'll rub some wood polish on my cane and shit, and get in my jammy jams and hit the hay.
So we're going to say that you took quite a while to do all that. By the time you drank your milk and polished your cane and put on your gym jams, you hear some, like, clunky banging noises from like lower below you're kind of on the second level of this 2-level ship, and you hear stuff on the lower level.
Okay. Does anything like sound close, or is it like I hear noises all the time? Which one sounds like more urgent if I need to investigate?
Sure. It wasn't your usual. It sounded like clangs and bangs, like metallic sounding, which don't seem normal.
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna get my cane and my night slippers and a lantern.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna start strutting my stuff out there to investigate. Like,
okay.
I've seen the way the crew looks around this place. I've seen fucking Beauregard. He looks like a chump. Like, I'm gonna have to make sure everyone's safe. So I'm gonna go investigate this.
Give me a navigation, just to see like how efficiently you like find your way around the ship.
Okay. That's 79. That's terrible. That's not good. That's a super...
Okay, yes. You are just wandering around, and you take a little bit longer, but it's a ship, right? There's only so many finite possibilities. So you didn't go the fastest route, but you eventually make your way down to what you can presume is the engine room.
Okay.
And you see sticking out from the door like a foot, like kind of just upwards, like
Ooh,
the
so
ground.
like if it was a person laying down flat on their
Yes.
back, their foot would be sticking straight up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna try to be quiet as a old guy with a cane can be, and go up there and just like tap the foot with the tip of my cane.
No response.
Ooh, okay. All right, I'm gonna turn the corner and see who I'm looking at.
It looks like one of the two crew members that you mistook for security.
Oh, damn.
He kind of has some like coal like stuff on like some marks, so just saying that he'd been working, kind of proving that he worked in the engine room, and he give me a first aid check.
Ooh, okay. So that's what do I have? I thought I have medicine. I don't have medicine. First aid's a fail.
First aid's fail.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't have medicine,
I did take medicine, but it's super low. Medicine's hard to put points.
So you're really good at dirt and rocks and things, but not so great with people. So you don't notice that he's still breathing, and you just think this guy is dead.
Okay.
And yes, you see him like in a pool of blood on the floor of the engine room.
Ooh, dang. Okay. This is very upsetting for me. Damn it. Not on my watch. Not again. Not Paco again.
Give me a listen.
Okay. Ooh, I can listen. What the?
Did you fail?
I'm pushing it.
Okay.
I'm pushing
You're
it.
pushing it.
Yes!
Oh, wow.
That's a success
That
on that
went great.
push.
All right, and that's a good one, right?
Yes, that's a super ultimate omega success.
So you hear a few things actually. Even though you were bad at first aid, you take a moment to kind of listen intently, and you hear faint breathing from the crew member, and then you also could have sworn you hear like a tick, 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 tick.
Ooh, like a watch almost. Oh
Something
man.
like that.
Ooh, what would Sebastian Travers do in this situation? Is the noise familiar to me in any way?
No. Oh. Well, I mean, tell me more about what you've done at excavation sites. What do you usually do on an excavation site?
Okay, so he was a war veteran. Okay, so he's familiar with explosives and driving.
Give me an explosive, because I think there is an explosives one, right?
Did I take it?
Give me an explosive roll, whether or not you have it.
Okay. So that's a 12.
That's pretty good. Okay. It kind of sounds like what they like the dynamite they use when they like attach it to like a timer for like excavation sites to like blow up like rock.
Oh man.
Formations.
Okay, and it sounds like it's coming from the body or just somewhere in the room.
Somewhere in the room.
Oh my god. Okay. So I'm gonna try to pick up the guy and then drag him out of the room.
Okay. I'm gonna just say you can. There's no really like kind of strength or check or anything. So go, sure.
And yeah, we're just hoofing it. I'm like, everybody, leave the engine room as soon as you can, please. Something's off.
No response. Everyone is deeply asleep, and you're about a level below.
These motherfuckers. Hold on, and I pull out my handkerchief that actually is coated with a laudanum. And I take a big huff. I'm like, okay, now that feels great. His hip feels great. He can't feel his gunshot anymore. And
for our viewers, what is laudanum?
It's what they would use back in the 20s, and it was basically like opium in a liquid form.
So basically, your character kind of has like a drug addiction,
yes,
kind of like a painkiller, opium type deal.
Yes, exactly. Like I appreciate that in a person. He's been through some shit, and he does what he needs to get by. Okay, and then so his laudanum. This point, he's just huffing it, but you can also like put it in a dropper and drop it in your eyeball if you want, or in your mouth. So we'll see what happens later on with Mr. Travers and his drug excursion.
Okay, so all you did was call for help and then do some drugs.
Yeah, no, I'm booking it.
So give me a listen check.
Okay. 37, and my listen is a 30. I'll use 7 points of luck.
Okay. So you hear, it's good enough. You hear the faint wheezing from the guy, and he says, "Behind the engine."
Oh my God.
And-
Okay.
And then you can still kind of hear the ticking. So between the two, give me, I think there's this kind of doesn't totally make sense. There's a mechanical, right?
Yes.
Use like a mechanical repair to just see how well you can like navigate around like an engine to like look. around
Okay.
it.
So when he says that, like, I don't even set him down. I just drop his ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm like, oh, they need my help. I'm fucking on it, man. And then so I drop his ass, and then now I'm investigating or.
Mechanical repair kind of.
Yep. So that would be a 9.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
So you know your way around mechanical equipment and you are very quick to like get around the back and up like inside of it, and you find a stick of dynamite.
Ooh. Okay.
With like a timer thing on it.
Okay.
And you can now vividly, like very loudly hear the tick, tick.
Okay. Can I see on the timer how much time is left?
Yeah, for some reason it literally just says the exact time and you have 10 seconds.
Oh my God. In the split second, do I think I have enough time to get to the edge of the boat?
You tell me.
Oh my God, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to try to disarm it right here.
Okay. I think we'll go back to explosives.
Okay. Oh my God, okay. Oh, that's an 8.
That's an 8. That's great. Yes. So in your experience in the field, you have worked many times with explosives, just like on the archaeology sites, and you know how to stop the fuse. You disable the timer, and it stops ticking.
Oh, beautiful. Well done, Travers. You've done it again, you old dog. And then I take another huff from my handkerchief.
And you don't hear it, but the other guy's like, need help.
Oh, yes, I almost forgot about you since I just saved the day. Don't worry, I'll come over there and help you.
Not me.
Oh, who then, sir?
Kitty.
Kitty. Oh, no, and then like...
And then he just dies.
Oh, okay, so I like step on his torso as I'm like running past him. Like I step on him and get kind of leverage to launch myself. Kind of like when you're at the starting line, you know, and they have those blocks. Like I use his body as one of those blocks to really, launch myself forward. And then I go and try to find wherever Kitty's at. I don't think I know the boat enough to know where all their quarters are at.
Okay. Are you still holding the dynamite?
Yeah, but
we're going to go with yes. So,
yes.
So you start heading towards what you believe to be the Vanderbilts or Kitty's quarters, and Beauregard comes out and be like, Travers, is that you? I heard someone calling for help.
Yes, there's some kind of shenanigans happening on the boat right now.
Why are you holding dynamite?
I found it behind the engine compartment. That's besides the point. Is Kitty okay?
He slowly backs away from you and like, I don't know. You tell me.
That's why I'm here, to find out if Kitty's okay. Look, we can
Why don't you put down the dynamite and fight me like a man?
Why are we fighting right now? I'm here to check and investigate on Kitty. Like, is she okay?
If I really am to believe that, throw the dynamite off the ship.
Okay, fine. And like, I pretend to be old about it, and like I go to throw it off the ship, but I totally miss, and it kind of like lays on the floor, like right by the edge, kind of.
Okay, he approaches you slower, and he's like, I just came from Kitty's room. She's fine. Why do you have dynamite?
I told you, somebody planted it behind the engine in the engine compartment, and somebody killed one of the I thought it was a security guard, but come to find out he just tends the engine. Silly me, I know. Pulled a real Travers on that moment. Hold on one second. I pull out my handkerchief. I'm like, ah, okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it'll be fine. Just let this kick. Oh yeah, now I'm feeling great. Now, is Kitty okay? He said something happened to Kitty. Are you lying to me, Beauregard?
Are you lying to me, Mr. Travers?
Are you lying to me, Beauregard?
And just then Victor comes down like, what is the meaning of this?
Beauregard's lying to me, I think.
Travers is lying. He has dynamite, Victor.
I found it behind... Look, I don't have to explain myself. I will to you, Victor, because you're giving me money, of course, but I found the dynamite. Someone's trying to sabotage this excursion.
He believes you. You don't even have to roll for it. He's like, Mr. Beauregard, Mr. Travers is one of the most esteemed professionals in the industry. I brought him on for a very specific reason because I trust him, and I know that not only is he good at his field, but he's a good man. I trust him. If he says he didn't walk aboard the ship walking around with dynamite, I believe him. Also, where would he put it? Look at that stick figure frame and hobbly cane walking goodness. Like, there's nowhere for him to do anything like that.
See, thank you, Mr. Vanderbilt. I told you, Beauregard. As I take another huff of my handkerchief.
Kitty just like pokes her head out like, what are you boys all making a ruckus about right now?
Kitty, I heard that something was wrong and that you might need attention. There's some weird stuff going on the ship. Is everything okay? Truly, is everything okay?
Yes, silly, I don't know what you're talking about. We need to get some rest. Tomorrow we have our big day.
Well, I feel like somebody should do something about the dead man that I found in the engine bay.
Just leave him. We'll have it taken care of by the authorities when we arrive on site tomorrow.
Typical Vanderbilts. Very well. Good night, Miss Kitty.
Good night.
Before you go to bed, Mr. Travers, and Mr. Beauregard, you as well, I need you to hear this. We are one party. We are one team here. We need to look out for each other. Clearly something is afoot, and they want you guys to mistrust each other. We must work together if we're going to reach the halls of eternity and become famous for this project that we're on.
I agree 100% that Beauregard started the whole thing, and he should probably be let off the next time we dock.
Alrighty then. Well, that was good enough for me, Beauregard. You are a piece of shit, but you are also engaged to my daughter. So please get it together and work with Mr. Travers. And so Beauregard's like, whatever you say, sir. We'll renew this precarious, dangerous situation in the morning.
Very well. I say we shake hands, Beauregard. Like gentlemen.
He'll do it.
Okay, I just shake
gives
hands.
you a very aggressive, stern grab. Okay. And here Victor returns to his room, Beauregard returns to his room. And I assume you do the same?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what you do to prepare. Do you restart the cycle? Is there more milk? Is there more cane polishing?
No, I think...
you're like, well, that was nice, and you just go to sleep?
No, I think I'm going to work up to a little bit. Like I want like an 80s montage, like take it to the limit. Like I'm going to be doing like some sit-ups and stuff in the room.
Because you're still like all like drugged up.
Yeah, and I'm still like pumped from finding the dead body and saving the day from the dynamite. So there's no way I can just go back to sleep. So I'm going to like do some push-ups or whatever, like, old adventurer guys do.
Okay. So we'll say that goes on for a while. For some reason, nobody notices because everybody's exhausted now. They've been woken up once or twice now from all the ruckus. So you do your little thing, and eventually, hopefully, you just tucker out and you doze off.
Yeah.
Okay. So night happens. You guys sleep, and you are woken up. Do you wake up on time in the morning, do you think?
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. I'm an old guy, so that's all I have going for me is my schedule.
You're a professional.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you wake up, you get ready, and you are part of. So you go outside of your cabin, and Victor and Mr. Beauregard and Kitty and one of the crew members is all ready with their. They have some equipment, like they're all kind of like wearing like bags and kind of what you would imagine like diggers and archaeologists.
Yeah.
Like they got like suspenders and
I
hats
love it.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They're all like dressed for the occasion. So, like Travers. We didn't know if you'd make it this morning. You were quite excitable last night after we all went back to our chambers.
Just part of my getting woke up in the middle of the night routine. Just something I gotta do to tucker myself back out to get back to sleep. But that's besides the point. Are we ready for today? Because I am ready.
Today we will make greatness. I am sure of it, Mr. Travers.
How
Me
far
too.
to the... Oh, Kitty. How far to the site, do you think?
Oh, not far at all. Like, thankfully, Alfonso, as I call him, not a very Egyptian name, but he will be taking us over to, we just have a Humvee over there that we'll be taking, and it should take us just maybe an hour or so.
Ooh, very good, very good. I am excited. I am ready to go. I got like my pack on and I'm
awesome. So you guys do that. Do you have any, as you're driving, is there any conversation you want to make? Any insight anywhere?
I kind of just want to look at Beauregard and maybe see if I can roll a psychology on him to see why he's acting this way.
Okay. I'm going to say you are in the front. So it's like Victor. It's like, for some reason it works out where like there's like the driver and then there's like you and Victor. And then behind you guys is for some reason like Kitty and Beauregard.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and do your psychology.
Oh, that's 54. That's a fail.
Okay. He's hard to read. He's a hard man. You're torn between like is he really in love and trying to care for Kitty, or maybe he just really wants in on the Vanderbilt fortune?
Ooh, yeah.
It could be either of those. You can't make out which way, either way.
I'm just gonna give him some looks as we're driving, and then I'll turn back and try to, like, as we're driving, make my own personal map in a journal as we're driving, kind of like to get my bearings in case the shit hits the fan and I need to get back to the boat.
Sure. Okay. So you guys get to the excavation site, and you're probably expecting a number of people and workers, and it looks basically abandoned. You can see equipment was set up, and you can see this is definitely like a site people are working at, but no one seems to be there at the moment as you pull up.
Mr. Vanderbilt, what seems to be the issue here? I thought this was an active site.
Yes, well, Esteban told me, or Alfonso, I don't remember his name. He told me this morning that a lot of the local workers were concerned about the assassination attempts, both on Kitty and the dynamite. And they think this area is cursed, and they refuse to work anymore on the project. So we might be on our own today.
Well, how close were we to the discovery?
Oh, we've found the chamber. It's over here. Today we were supposed to crack open the doors, so we might have to get our hands dirty and open it up.
Oh, very well. Luckily you have me. This should be in and out. We'll find your artifact that we're looking for and then be on our way. So let's proceed if we don't have anything else.
Okay. So what would you like to do? So you're on this. So you see, all right, it's almost like cellar doors. You see two stone doors with like a crease between the middle, in the ground, like and laid into the ground.
Okay.
There's some symbols and whatnot on the doors, and then there's also a bunch of just equipment around. We'll say like whatever the 20s equivalent of like jackhammers and explosives and digging tools are.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
The
Victor's just all of them. Honestly, the Vanderbilts and Mr. Beauregard are kind of just looking at you to kind of
guide them.
Something out.
Okay. The symbols, are they the ones they showed me earlier? The same symbols that are all across the door and everything?
It's going to be a really low barrier, but give me a there is like an archaeology, right? Okay. Is there history and archaeology? One of those?
Yep. I have both.
Whichever one you want. Give me one of those.
78 and my archaeology is a 61. So let's...
You don't have to use points. I would say that's good enough.
Okay.
It's pretty obvious to you. These are just straight up Egyptian.
Okay.
So yeah, very, very kind of standard.
Okay.
I would say.
And then no traps or anything. Like if I open this door, it's not going to trigger anything, right? If I can check for traps, I don't know. Spot hidden, maybe.
Yeah, do a spot hidden.
I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Oh god damn it! That was worse. I failed. Failed the spot hidden.
All right, so you don't know if there's traps or not.
Okay. Beauregard, you there? Hand me the pry bar, please, and we're gonna try to pop open these doors.
Okay. He'll give you the pry bar, and then I don't know. There's either like you could either do like mechanical because it's a tool, I would say, or I don't know, geology or something. I don't know. Give me some kind of skill if you're going to actually try to pry the doors open.
Yeah, I'll try a geology. I'm well versed in that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fail. That's a 91.
Okay. So you try to pry it open, but you are not able to do so.
Well, golly gee. Let's try to get some more men on this, and then I try to, I'll hop out with my bad leg and everything. And Beauregard and you there, Ibanez, whatever your name is, get over here and help pry on this thing. And then they're going to pry on it.
Okay. Do another geology, and this will just count for more people. Do it, and we'll say advantage if you'd like.
That's passed.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you start to crack it open, like a puff of dust comes up. And it starts to open. You haven't opened the doors all the way, but you have a nice gap that you can kind of look through.
Ooh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna try to get my lantern close and then try to get my head in there and try to investigate as much as I can.
Great job, Travers. Excellent. I knew you were the man for this excavation, for this dig. He says really loudly.
Oh, you could count on me, Mr. Vanderbilt. Now let's please try to keep it down while I do my investigating. I need to keep absolute concentration, just in case, you understand.
Okay. So you said you looked in with your lantern?
Yes.
Still do a spot hidden, so you're just looking into the darkness, kind of with some assistance from your light.
I'm gonna lose another 10 points of luck to make that a pass.
Ooh, wow, okay. All right. So you can kind of clearly make out. You would have to jump down. There's not like a stairwell or anything. You jump down, and then there's a big spiral-looking staircase with a giant gaping hole in the center that goes down very deep, and you cannot tell how, like, if it ends at all.
Ooh, have I seen this kind of like a structure type before, like this architecture?
No,
style?
it's very unusual. Usually in the pyramids, it's not spiral kind of staircase.
Right.
This is unique. It's still kind of vaguely. I mean, the construction is Egyptian, probably built by Egyptians. But if you do like a history check, if you want, this isn't how the typical style they built.
I'm gonna kind of whisper, Mr. Vanderbilt, you have made quite a find. This is nothing like anything I've ever seen before. It's time we push further into the tomb here, or whatever this could be. Beauregard, slightly open up the door the rest of the way for me, please, and we'll get everything set up and lower ourselves down in.
Okay. In great detail, describe to me how you are opening the doors.
Okay, so Beauregard is going to be like pushing on the one side, and then the helper guy is going to help him, and then I want to have like something, because they open up and out, right?
I always imagine they were just sliding.
Oh, they're just sliding?
Okay.
Okay. So if that's the case, then they pushed it open far enough for me to stick my head in.
Like, are there two people pulling like this? Is it like two people standing in the middle trying to like cleave it?
Right. So like, okay, we're going to do one door at a time. So I'm going to have my rope set up with like a grappling hook kind of deal, and that's going to be placed in the middle.
Okay.
And then Beauregard and the other helper are going to be on both edges, pushing back towards. That way we're all kind of pulling together.
So it's safe to say none of you guys are like directly over the hole as you open it. Like, you're more like pulling away from it.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys do that. We'll just say you're successful because you've already started to get it open. And as that happens, like a number of like darts like shoot up out like into the air. But they just shoot up and then kind of fall down. You guys weren't standing directly over it.
Is everyone okay?
Yes, that was a very good call to very delicately and from a distance open the door. Mr. Travers, you are in fact the professional you claim to be. And that was coming from Mr. Beauregard, so it's kind of a reluctant compliment.
Ooh, wow, okay. Well, thank you, Beauregard, for that, but everyone needs to stay on their toes. Things might get a little weird from here on out. We don't know what we can expect from a booby-trapped tomb, so we can only expect the worst. Now, let's proceed slowly and get the other door open, and then we can get our rig set up before we enter.
Okay. So I'm just going to say, give me one... I don't know, just give me any check you want to just see how well all of that goes, like as far as all of you entering into the stairwell.
Okay. 40, and I'm going to say I'm going to use my survival.
Okay.
And then that's a 40 on the dot. Yeah.
Okay, so you carefully and skillfully guide everybody in safely without triggering any kind of traps or maneuvers, and you guys are now going down what seems to be a very long spiral staircase.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm going to try to keep track the best I can in my journal, like how far down I feel like we're going, the best I can.
Okay. And then these obviously like most ruins, like there are hieroglyphics everywhere. And they very elaborate. You see lots of different gods depicted in different ways. So a lot going on the walls as you kind of go down the stairwell.
Oh, okay.
So are you guys just proceeding carefully?
Yes, I think so. I'll obviously be leading, and Beauregard, if you will, please handle the back end of this. That way we can be sure to keep Kitty safe there in the middle, and then let's proceed.
Absolutely. Okay. So yeah, he says, yes, you seem to have earned his trust a little bit, by not getting him killed while opening the door. So he's kind of walking in the rear, but keeping an eye out on the back. And then you and Victor are leading the front with Kitty kind of guarded safely in the middle.
Cool.
So you're just proceeding down?
Yep.
Are you okay? Do you investigate anything on the walls?
The more, and when I notice it, like I am familiar with Coptic, which is the Egyptian whatever, does anything look abnormal at a glance as we're going?
Kind of. Usually you see like shrines with a god, but there seems to be like lots of gods depicted in this one.
Ooh, okay. So if this catches my eye, I definitely want to stop for a second and really investigate it and see if I can read what they're trying to tell me.
So give me a roll though still. Either history or archaeology or something like that.
I got a 28.
Yeah, that's great. So we're gonna say that the first story that's kind of depicted is you see lots of the gods being killed. So you see like Anubis, you see all the Egyptian gods, but
right.
you see them like they have spears in them. You see them like they seem to be fighting against something and losing.
Oh man!
And as you keep spiraling down, it continues to tell the story. The story is just kind of continuing as you go down the spiral. And what it eventually turns into is you see all of the gods teaming up together to form this square around this glowing entity.
Ooh, okay. Wow, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before, Mr. Vanderbilt. Just be on the lookout. This is very intense writing on the walls. I really don't else know how to explain it to you, but it's very dark, especially for Egyptian times. And we just need to be on the lookout, if you know what I mean. Protect Kitty.
Yes. And then the story continues to go on, and you see this one is less clear, but you see a number of people holding up babies just to the sky. And then there seems to be like a river kind of like traveling between all of the people and their babies.
Oh, disgusting. I guess
what do you see, Victor?
It's nothing but a bunch of babies. I don't know what they're doing with them. I've never been fond of kids, and then I grab my handkerchief and I pull it out. Oh, they actually scare me a little bit. I'm just not a fan of children, and the wall is just covered with babies. It's best if we just move on.
Is that actually a thing in your character sheet? I don't remember it. Was there something about babies?
I think I wrote something about kids. Like
yeah,
I think about kids.
Okay. All right. So you eventually get to the bottom, and you did not trigger any traps. Give me one listening check.
Ooh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to push. Ah, that's fucking awful. That's a super fail after a push.
Okay, so you didn't hear anything. And you get to the bottom, and you arrive at these big grand doors, very big stone doors. And yeah, give me like investigate them, or just tell me like what. Obviously, lots of symbols on them and whatnot.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna use 2 luck points and use my geology for that.
Okay,
so that'll be a good pass.
You know that these are like huge, heavy stone doors. Like you are not going to be able to pry bar these doors open. But some other things you notice is there's these kind of there's like a seam, like a split down the middle. So you can tell that like it's kind of doors that probably once again like slide to the left and right. And then you see these like 2 holes, one on each side of the split. Ooh. And then a bunch of like symbols.
Okay. Can I interpret the symbols in any way?
Yes. Yeah. And Victor's like, Victor or Travers, tell me what does it say? How do we open the door? And so we're just gonna say at this point you've established you can read all of the Coptics or whatnot.
Yeah.
And basically it tells you to go back. That don't like only death lies beyond this door, but it also does kind of tell you how to open them. It says that you must basically you have to submit the left and the right side simultaneously to become one again.
How far apart are the holes?
About like a little bit more than shoulder width.
Oh, okay.
So I would say like maybe 3 feet apart.
Okay. So does it
and then with like the split of the doors between the 2.
Oh, okay. Mr. Vanderbilt, it's just a typical warning, if you will. Nothing too critical. We've all seen them before. Now, it says we need to give a left and a right. And I'm assuming from the pictures and everything, we should probably have Beauregard stick an arm in there and then have Ibanez or whatever his name stick an arm in there so we can proceed forward. They both stick one left, one right arm into the doors.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Nothing?
Nothing.
God damn it. All right. Ibanez, Beauregard, get out of there for a sec. Ibanez, go ahead and stick your other hand in that hole. See what happens.
He looks at you hesitantly.
Come on, man. We've all been here before. You know what it's like being that guy. Just do it. 36.
Is that work for your score?
Persuasion. It's only a 10. Fuck. No, it doesn't work at all.
He says no. He starts speaking another language frantically, and he starts to pull his other hand out.
I pull my gun out. And I'm like, you stick your hand in there, Ibanez. I have never failed on a mission. Don't act like Pedro now.
And then Victor chimes in, do what you say, and you will be handsomely rewarded, Ibanez.
Yes, what he said.
Okay.
I'm wailing the gun.
Right.
Wailing the gun.
So Ibanez, Kitty surprisingly says nothing. She's a little blitz right now.
Yeah.
And so Ibanez puts both his hands in, and you hear a click, and the doors start to like open up, slide in different directions. But he has one hand on each side, and you kind of wait for him to exit, but he just seems to be like standing there.
Ibanez, go ahead and get out of there.
And he's like frantically speaking in another language, and he's like seems to be like trying to tug his hands out, but they won't let go, and the doors just keep splitting.
Oh my god. Okay, I put my gun away, and then I pull out my cane, and it's
What do you do with that?
I open it. It's a cane sword.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I unsheath it.
Ooh,
and I go over there and I'm like, Ibanez, if you can't pull yourself out, I will get you out of there, I promise.
He's screaming now.
Oh my god, I'd lop off one of his hands.
Okay, give me. Is there something for sword? I know there's like for like guns and whatnot.
Yeah, so it would just
Is
still
there-
be fighting brawl.
Okay. Yeah. Please give me one of those to see if you can cleanly chop this guy's arm off.
Ooh, it's a 2.
A 2 out of 100. So that is an amazing roll. You somehow, I'm not going to say it's the drugs, but you somehow cleanly cut this guy's hand off. And frankly, potentially save his life because as that happens, the doors open to what would have been beyond his like wingspan, and it would have ripped both of his arms out of his socket, and he probably would have bled to death. He is still bleeding quite a bit with that one arm, and he's still screaming, and now he's just on his knees.
Okay, I pull out my handkerchief and like he probably notices what I've been doing and he's like, oh, okay, he's gonna give me some painkiller, but I huff it instead and put it back away. And then
He's like, oh my god, someone help him.
Kitty, hand me a piece of your dress. And then
Yeah, she like tugs and rips some of it,
and I'm just gonna do my best to first aid his stumpy
you
little
just
hand.
make like a shitty tourniquet out of a dress.
And it's a 39 and my first aid's a 30, so it's just a fail. I don't care.
Okay. All right. So you make a shitty tourniquet.
Yeah.
But you didn't put it high. You didn't put it tight, as they teach you. And so you kind of lean him up against the wall, and Victor's like, "Stay here. Like we'll send for help." So you guys kind of lean him up, and then you leave him there, and you enter the final chamber. And you, as you go in, we're gonna say you like light one of the like there's these like kind of like clearly like torch areas, and when you light one, they all kind of light and the room lights up. And in the center of the room, you see what appears to be some kind of altar.
Ooh, okay. Now, that still gets me excited every time I do it. I've been probably 500 tombs, and every time I light one torch and they all light up, it still gets me going. You know what I'm saying, Vanderbilt?
Fascinating, Travers. You are truly a genius.
Okay, now, let's slowly but surely make our way to the altar and see what we have prepared. We don't know what kind of sick minds have set this thing up. They need a sacrifice just to get into the place. So let's...
So he's not really listening to you now. Victor goes up to the altar, and he starts like smiling, and he's just like, Olivia, finally, I will bring you back to this world.
Vanderbilt, what's going on? What?
Nothing. We found it. Travers, we did it.
But what exactly did we find, and at what cost? Ibanez's hand?
His whole arm, in fact.
Oh.
A small price to pay to bring someone back from the dead, Travers.
That's what we're doing here, Vanderbilt. You madman. We'll start...
You would do it if you had somebody you loved to. Kitty, come here. We're gonna see your mother again. And Kitty begins to like walk towards her father.
Oh, well, Kitty, step away from him. He's obviously gone crazed. Kitty, step away. What is going on here, Vanderbilt?
Do a persuasion for Kitty.
That's a 73. That's a fail.
Okay. She says, no, I'm sorry, Travers, but I want to see my mother too. And Victor's like, yes, Kitty, come. Like, we will get to see your mother again.
This is fucking crazy. And I pull out my handkerchief like, okay, I kind of want to see this through. I really don't believe in this nonsense. So you guys...
Beauregard kind of interrupts. He's like, Kitty, please, I love you, Kitty. Don't do this. And Kitty's like, what? I don't understand. And as that happens, Victor grabs Kitty and like pulls her up to the altar and like holds her hand down like up onto the altar. And then he goes on this big, like, kind of, classic bad guy speech of like, Kitty, you are the most important thing to me. I've always said that, but I guess that wasn't entirely true. You were the most important thing to me after I lost Olivia. But I miss her. I need her back in your life. You understand, Kitty, don't you?
Papa, what are you getting at, Papa?
What are you doing to Kitty Vanderbilt?
Let go of her, Beauregard says. And Vanderbilt takes out a knife and he's like, this won't hurt at all, my darling. Just close your eyes and it will all be over in a moment. And do you do it? He's about to kind of go and like claw Kitty's arm.
Oh, just her arm? Like you give her a little scratch? I've probably seen worse. I kind of want to just ride this out. So I'm going to pull out my handkerchief again and be like, okay, I'm ready to ride it out.
Okay. So you don't do anything. So Beauregard approaches. He's like, stop. You won't harm a hair on her head. And so I'd say Victor puts down the knife and he says, you're right, I won't. And then he pulls out a gun and shoots Beauregard just directly, very quickly. Like, just, he's a great shot. He like shoots him basically in the head.
Oh my God. Oh.
Travers, if you know what's good for you, don't do anything.
All right, you got it, man. I'm just standing here, but can I go check on Beauregard? Like, we kind of had a connection when I opened the door. I felt like we were becoming friends again, and you just shot him.
He's not even listening to you. He's like, he starts like saying some like weird things in like another language, and he's like doing some kind of maybe ceremony with Kitty.
Oh my God, I feel like I should really do something crazy right now and like
give me
help
a listening
out.
Roll.
That's a 13.
Okay, so this time you didn't hear it earlier, but you hear someone else is maybe in this room.
Okay, I'm gonna like try to scan around and see what's going on. Like, I'm freaking out right now. Like, I'm high. Like, the guy I just thought we were friends again, like, just got shot, Like, Ibanez's arm just got... I had to chop off his arm, basically, to save his life.
Give me a spot hidden.
I'm not doing good right now. Ooh, that's a 66. My spot hidden is a 50. Fuck it, I'll use that 16 points.
Damn, okay. Yeah, okay, so you see it's hard because the room is still... It's lit, but not well. But you see this like kind of dark veiled, very similar to the assailant you had seen before, like a similar outfit. Mm-hmm. You see this like dark character sneaking around, kind of like with what seems to be the intention of approaching Victor from the back. But he's hesitant. He works his way around the back, but he doesn't yet approach Victor.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make eye contact with him and just like give him a thumbs up, like fucking do it, man, like get him, like I can't do shit right now, you gotta do this.
I'm gonna roll to see if Victor notices you just giving a thumbs up in a dungeon. So I'll do like I don't know, like a spy hit or whatever. We're gonna say he fails. He's just so enthralled in his like thing. And so yeah, so the cloaked figure sees it, and then he like gestures at you something that's kind of along the lines of like distract him.
Okay. I'm gonna take another huff from my fucking my scarf or whatever, my handkerchief, and I'm gonna walk over and kind of get in the eyesight of Vanderbilt and just start flailing my arms around, like in what was that puppet movie, Team America World Police?
Yeah.
Like give him a signal, like, hey, look over here, man.
It's like, Travers, it's too late. I finished it. Now all it needs is a tribute of blood. He does like a little prick of Kitty, and little blood falls in. There's these little grooves in the altar and like wells, as almost as if like the blood is meant to like funnel in. So a little bit of blood trickles in and goes down like one of the grooves into the hall, but nothing happens.
Vanderbilt, you madman, what have you done?
What am I doing wrong, Travers? Tell me or I'll kill both of you.
I don't know. It just seems like everything I've read, when you kind of do weird bullshit like this, something bad always happens.
And with that, the assassin lunges out and tries to stop Victor. So Victor and him are both like tussling over like the dagger that he's using. Victor drops the gun, and then Kitty's like, please stop. Like she's not, her arm's not being held on the altar anymore, but she's like, please stop, please, Father.
Oh man, like I'm thinking that I should run in there and help, but at the same time, I'm scared shitless because like this is really weird and I'm super high. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend like I'm running over there to help. But then I'm gonna be like, my leg, and then, like, fall on the ground, and then like kind of roll around a bit, and then and then just start watching to see what unfolds.
So Victor stares at you like distracted for a moment, but he jams his dagger into the assailant, and the sailor drops to the ground, and he starts walking down the stairs, and he's like Travers, I thought you were on my side. I thought we would make history today.
Well, aren't we still? I haven't really done anything to stop you. You know, like I didn't see that.
Well, you're not helping either.
Well, what do you need from me? You have Kitty's blood. Like,
get up here and tell me what to do for the ceremony. And
okay, fine.
As he walks back up, and now he has his back to the altar, back to Kitty, and he's just facing you.
Okay. I'm going to get up, but I'm going to take an obnoxiously long time getting up, like really hamming it up that I'm old. Like,
while you do that, Kitty like draws the gun on the ground, like with her foot, and like draws it closer to her.
Oh, okay.
She says, and then she like picks it up and like puts it behind her back. And she's like, Papa, please, let's just go. There's still time. We can go back. This isn't what Mother would have wanted. And Victor would be like, shut up, Kitty. We're going to finish this now, here and now.
I think your daughter's right, Vanderbilt. This is bananas what we're doing right now. Like, this assassin guy, you killed him. Ibanez is bleeding out in the back. You shot your son-in-law.
You see Kitty hold up a gun behind Victor, but Victor doesn't notice.
I'm going to still try to keep talking to him. Be like, I think we just need to step away from this, take a break, or at least explain.
It's too late. It's too late. I can't go back. And then he turns. He's like, I'm sorry, Kitty, but... And a gunfire.
Oh, my God.
Kitty shoots her father. And he like staggers, he like gets shot because she shoots him from behind, but he like steps forward, but then kind of trips and falls backwards on the altar.
Oh my God.
And then begins like from his shoulder, like bleeding out into the altar, and it like fills all the grooves and fills the wells. And then you start to hear like some rumbling, and then you hear like almost like you hear like different almost like sliding doors, but they're made of stone in the altar,
moving around.
Change, and then like a box like rises up from the center. But now you hear like a huge amount of rumbling, like this cave is about to fall apart.
Oh, Kitty, grab the box and let's get out of here.
No, I think we should just leave it.
We've done all that we can, Kitty, but like we already came this far, so we might as well at least get something for it. I mean, your father's dead. Your husband.
Okay, just stop talking.
Okay, let's go.
She grabs it and goes, and give me, I don't know. Fucking, do you have climb? We're gonna call climb. Okay. Because the stairs now are starting to like. Some of them are falling apart, so it's not just a leisurely walk
that's
up.
A 70 and my climb is only a 20. I'm hobbled.
You're hobbled. So she goes forward and she's like, Travers, like, can you walk?
I can walk, but barely. You must, if anything happens to me back here, Kitty, you must press forward and move on. I am but an old man and you have so much life left to live. Please, at least just get to the boat. I will be behind you shortly, I promise.
I'm a little blitzed right now, so I'm gonna believe you.
I know, I'm high as a kite too, Kitty. This shit's crazy right now. We need to press forward though, so please don't look back whatever you do. Always go forward. I will be there.
I didn't know you very long, Travers, but you knew more than rocks and stone and history. You knew my heart.
Thanks, Kitty. I've lived what they call life. Now please, let's move forward.
Okay,
Kitty.
She starts climbing up, and she gets to the top. And we're going to say she's like pretty scrappy and is able to like climb out of the cell. And she looks back and how far, give me another climb, please. Let's see if you make some progress.
63. No, that's still a fail.
So you've kind of like crawled up the stairwells a little bit, but now a boulder falls and like pins one at your good leg.
Son of a bitch.
She's like, do you want me to send somebody to help you?
No, Kitty, I told you already. Don't look back. Please. Continue going forward, Kitty. You will survive this. I'll survive eventually.
And with that, some boulders crash down, cutting you off from Kitty. And it's just you. And then Esteban is like also kind of like using his feet to like push himself up off the rocks. And he kind of slides next to you.
Oh, it's just me and you again, old friend. We're going to get through this, I promise. I've been through worse.
He's just yelling in another language.
Yes, I understand. You're upset about something. We'll get out of here, I promise.
And a bunch of rocks collapse, and that's as far as we know. we don't know what happens to those two.
No.
So it cuts to Kitty, and she gets back out. She somehow passes an equipment check and drives a Humvee back to the ship, where there are still some crew members on there, and she's a Vanderbilt. They know if they get her home that they'll. So basically, she gets some people to operate the boat and try to get her back to Cairo or whatever nearby port is available. And she just sits staring longingly in the direction of the excavation site, having lost her fiance, her father, and a new love in her life that she didn't even know she needed. And she goes to take a nap. She goes to lay down on her bed, and the box is next to her, and she falls asleep.
Yes.
And that is it for the discovery.
That was awesome, Nate. I loved it. I was so excited. Like, I just wanted to stop playing and just listen to what's going to happen next.
It was so good. We have an interview coming up later, and I went ahead and had to email that person and ask them to push it back a little bit, but I think it was worth it. I wanted to finish it up. So I hope I did your original session justice and set up kind of the mystery of the box and how dangerous it is. You know, we talked about being able to bring souls in from another world. I tried to set that up because we brought back in that what do you call it? Hasters?
Yep, Hasters. Yep.
So I tried to set that up. I tried to Kitty falling asleep with the box, because that's how she was introduced on the train on the Nile.
I loved it. I thought the whole thing was a cool setup. Like, I got really into the story there for like a little bit, you know?
It was good, yeah. And
I liked it.
And I'm, for viewers, I'm not super familiar. Nate's a lot more familiar with Call of Cthulhu. I played a lot of D&D, but not a lot of Call of Cthulhu. So I really tried hard to incorporate, like, we use explosives, we use mechanical repair, we use listening. I tried to do a better job at using more of the skill checks, because I think that's one of the coolest things about Call of Cthulhu is in D&D, you kind of just have 20 skills and then like fighting stuff or magic stuff. And in Call of Cthulhu, you have like kind of more realistic to reality, in my opinion, that just a number of different skills you can call upon.
Just skills. Like, you're still a real person, but you do have skills in certain things.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. You had geology, you had archaeology, you had a lot of skills that would make sense for like a researcher, and I think it aided.
Terrible charisma on this guy.
Yeah, and you cannot climb to save your life. So
I'm hobbled.
Okay, well, that is it. As usual, if you liked what you heard today, if you want to hear more, if you'd like to suggest what direction we go next with Roleplay for One, do we continue with the box? Do we explore a new adventure? You let us know. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on there. If not, just give us a rating on whatever your platform is. Follow us on social media, on Instagram, whatever, and subscribe to Patreon. It is just $1.
Just $1. How dare you?
How dare you? And that's going to wrap it up. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.